12, the Polyjuice Potion. They stepped off the stone staircase at the top, and Professor McGonagall rapped on the door. It opened silently, and they entered. Professor McGonagall told Harry to wait and left him there alone. Harry looked around. One thing was certain. Of all the teachers' offices Harry had visited so far this year, Dumbledore's was by far the most interesting. If he hadn't been scared out of his wits that he was about to be thrown out of school, he would have been very pleased to have a chance to look around it. It was a large and beautiful circular room full of funny little noises. A number of curious silver instruments stood on spindle-legged tables, whirring and emitting little puffs of smoke. The walls were covered with portraits of old headmasters and headmistresses, all of whom were snoozing gently in the frames. There was also an enormous claw-footed desk, and sitting on a shelf behind it, a shabby, tattered wizard's hat. The sorting hat. Harry hesitated and cast a wary eye around the sleeping wizards and witches on the walls. Surely it couldn't hurt if he took the hat down and tried it on again, just to make sure it had put him in the right house. He walked quietly around the desk, lifted the hat from its shelf and lowered it slowly onto his head. It's too much large, and slipped down over his eyes, just as it had done the last time he put it on. Harry stared at the black inside of the hat, waiting. Then a small voice said in his ear, "Be in your bonnet, Harry Potter." Yes," Harry muttered. Sorry to bother you. I wanted to ask. Yeah, you've been wondering whether I put you in the right house," said Harry smartly. "Yes. You are particularly difficult to place, but I stand by what I said before." Harry's heart leapt. He would have done well in Slytherin. Harry's stomach plummeted. Grabbed the point of the hat and pulled it off. It hung limply in his hand, gaudy and faded. Harry pushed it back onto its shelf, feeling sick. "You're wrong," he said aloud to the still and silent hat. It didn't move. Harry backed away, watching it. Then a strange gagging noise behind him made him wheel around. He wasn't alone after all. Standing on a golden perch behind the door was a decrepit-looking bird which resembled a half-plucked turkey. Harry stared at it, and the bird looked balefully back, making its gagging noise again. Harry thought it looked very ill. Its eyes were dull, and even as Harry watched, a couple more feathers fell out of its tail. Harry was just thinking that all he needed was for Dumbledore's die. Well, he was alone in the office with it. Then the bird burst into flames. Harry yelled in shock and backed away into the desk. He looked feverishly around in case there was a glass of water somewhere, but couldn't see one. The bird, meanwhile, had become a fireball, gave one loud shriek, and the next second it was nothing but a smouldering pile of ash on the floor. The office door opened. Dumbledore came in, looking very sombre. "Professor," Harry gasped, "your bird. I couldn't do anything. Just caught fire." About time too. No, to Harry's astonishment, Dumbledore smiled. "About time too," he said. "He's been looking dreadful for days. I've been telling him to get a move on." He chuckled at the stunned look on Harry's face. Fawkes is a phoenix, Harry. Phoenixes burst into flame when it is time for them to die and are reborn from the ashes. Watch him." Harry looked down in time to see a tiny wrinkled newborn bird poke its head out of the ashes. "It's quite as ugly as the old one. It's a shame you had to see him on a burning day," said Dumbledore, seating himself on his desk. "He really is very handsome most of the times. Wonderful red and gold plumage. Fascinating creatures. Phoenixes, they can carry immensely heavy loads. Their tears have healing powers, and they make highly faithful pets." In the shock of Fawkes catching fire, Harry had forgotten what he was there for, but it all came back to him as Dumbledore settled himself in the high-backed chair behind the desk and fixed Harry with his penetrating light blue stare. Before Dumbledore could speak another word, however, the door of the office flew open with an almighty bang, and Hagrid burst in. A wild look in his eyes, his balaclava perched on top of his shaggy black head, and the dead rooster still swinging from his hand. It wasn't Harry, Professor Dumbledore," said Hagrid urgently. "I was talking to him seconds before that kid was found. He never had time, sir." Dumbledore tried to say something, but Harry went ranting on, waving the rooster around in his agitation, sending feathers everywhere. "It can't have been him. I'll swear it in front of the Ministry of Magic if I have to. Hagrid, You've got the wrong boy, sir. I know Harry never... Hagrid, said Dumbledore loudly. I do not think that Harry attacked those people. Oh, said Hagrid. The rooster falling limply at his side. Right, are we waiting outside then, headmaster? And he stomped out, looking embarrassed. I don't think it was me, Professor, Harry repeated, hopefully, as Dumbledore. No, Harry, I don't, said Dumbledore, though his face was sad, somber again, but I still want to talk to you. Harry waited nervously while Dumbledore considered him, the tips of his long fingers together. I must ask you, Harry, whether there's anything you'd like to tell me, he said. Anything at all. Harry didn't know what to say. He thought of Malfoy shouting, "You'll be next, mudbloods," and a polyjuice potion bubbling in Martle's bathroom. Then he thought of the disembodied voice he had heard, and twice remembered what Ron had said. Hearing voices no one else can hear isn't a good sign, even in the wizarding world. He thought, too, about what everyone was saying about him, and his growing dread that he was somehow connected with Salazar Slytherin. No, there isn't anything, Professor. The double attack on just now nearly headless Nick turned what had hitherto been nervousness into real panic. Curiously, it was nearly headless Nick's fate that seemed to worry people most. What could possibly do that to a ghost? People asked each other. What terrible power could someone harm someone who's already dead? There was almost a stampede to put up seats on the Hogwarts Express so that students could go home for Christmas. At this rate, we're the only ones left, Ron told Harry and Hermione. Us, Malfoy, Crabbe and Goyle. What a jolly holiday it's going to be. Crabbe and Goyle, who always did whatever Malfoy did, had signed up to stay for the holidays too. But Harry was glad that most people were leaving. He was tired of people skirting around him in the corridors. That's all for today. Bye-bye.